The story of German submarine U-85 is a haunting chapter in the annals of naval warfare, shrouded in wartime mystery and marked by a grim final encounter off the coast of the United States. Laid down on April 18, 1940, at the Flender-Werke shipyard in Lübeck, U-85 was a Type 7B U-boat, a design known for its improved range and speed over earlier models. She was launched on January 10, 1941, and commissioned on February 7, 1941, under the command of Kapitänleutnant Eberhard Greger. As one of Nazi Germany's deadly underwater predators during the Second World War, U-85's operational career was short but intense, culminating in its dramatic destruction just months after entering active service. Type 7B submarines like U-85 were pivotal to the Kriegsmarine strategy in the Battle of the Atlantic. These U-boats were an evolution of the earlier Type 7A, featuring increased fuel capacity and improved torpedo armament. Following a period of training with the first U-boat flotilla at Kiel, U-85 became operational in August 1941. Her first war patrol began on August 28, 1941, under Greger's command. The U-boat sailed from Trondheim, Norway into the North Atlantic, entering waters infested with Allied shipping. During this patrol, U-85 managed to inflict damage on Allied convoys, claiming one confirmed sinking, the British freighter Empire Fusilier, on September 8. The Empire Fusilier was part of convoy SC-42, and its destruction earned U-85 a brief moment of success during her early operations. The ship went down 700 kilometers east of Cape Farewell, Greenland, highlighting how far into the Atlantic the U-boats prowled. U-85 returned to port after this patrol and was soon readied for another. On her second patrol, U-85 encountered more trouble than success. The U-boat made an unsuccessful attack on another convoy, and this time, evasion and escape were more difficult as Allied anti-submarine warfare tactics had begun to improve. In particular, the increased use of high-frequency direction-finding equipment, air patrols, and convoy escorts with sonar made U-boat operations more dangerous by late 1941. Nevertheless, the German U-boat fleet adapted. In early 1942, U-85 was reassigned to Operation Paukenschlag, or Drumbeat, a campaign targeting shipping along the east coast of the United States. After Germany declared war on the United States in December 1941, Admiral Karl Dönitz unleashed a new wave of U-boats to take advantage of America's unprepared coastal defenses. U-85, among several other U-boats, was sent across the Atlantic for this purpose. The operation initially proved to be a devastating success for Germany, as American convoys lacked proper escort and blackout protocols, making ships easy targets at night. U-85 set sail from Lorient, France, on her final patrol on March 21, 1942. Her destination was the waters off the coast of North Carolina, part of what would later be dubbed Torpedo Junction due to the number of Allied vessels sunk there during early 1942. As U-85 arrived in these waters, she reportedly encountered several merchant vessels and may have attempted attacks, although no confirmed sinkings were attributed to her on this final patrol. Some sources speculate she may have suffered mechanical issues or evaded detection for extended periods without success. The end came on April 14, 1942, just a few weeks after her departure from Lorient. That night, as U-85 patrolled off Bodie Island Light near the Outer Banks of North Carolina, she was detected by the USS Roper, a Clemson-class destroyer. The Roper had been operating as part of the U.S. Navy's early response to the Drumbeat campaign, providing escort and anti-submarine coverage in increasingly dangerous waters. At approximately 2 a.m., Roper's lookouts spotted a dark shape on the surface, and sonar confirmed the presence of a submarine. As the destroyer approached, U-85 attempted to flee on the surface, possibly due to a decision by Kapitänleutnant Greger to conserve battery power, or because he believed the U-boat had been spotted too late to dive. The USS Roper opened fire with machine guns and 3-inch deck guns, striking U-85 several times. In a desperate move, The U-boat tried to return fire but was quickly overwhelmed. The Roper launched depth charges that detonated near the hull of the already damaged submarine, sending it to the bottom. What followed was controversial. The USS Roper, fearing other U-boats might be in the area and wary of the potential for torpedoes in the water, did not immediately attempt a rescue operation. Instead, it dropped additional depth charges around the sinking site, ensuring the destruction of any remaining resistance. All 29 crew members aboard U-85 perished, including Gregor. Their bodies were later recovered, an unusual event, as U-boat crews were often lost without trace. The recovery of U-85's crew was significant for several reasons. Their bodies washed ashore in the days following the attack, and U.S. authorities retrieved the corpses and gave them proper burial with military honors in Hampton National Cemetery in Virginia. This act of respect, even in the midst of war, was a rare gesture and one that stood out in the brutal context of the Battle of the Atlantic. Even more intriguing was what divers discovered on the wreck years later. U-85 rests in relatively shallow water, about 7 miles off the coast of North Carolina, at a depth of roughly 100 feet, making it accessible to recreational divers. Early reports claimed that an Enigma machine, a cipher device used by the Kriegsmarine to send encrypted messages, was recovered from the wreck. However, later investigations cast doubt on this story. The U.S. Navy made no mention of such a recovery in official reports, and historians now believe it is unlikely that an Enigma machine was found aboard U-85 at the time of her sinking. Nevertheless, the legend persists, lending an air of mystery to the wreck site. U-85 was the first U-boat sunk by U.S. naval forces off the American coast during World War II, marking a turning point in the naval war for the United States. Her sinking underscored both the vulnerability of German submarines operating close to the American coastline and the growing effectiveness of U.S. anti-submarine efforts. In the months following U-85's destruction, American defenses improved rapidly. Coastal blackouts were enforced, convoys were organized, and aircraft patrols increased dramatically. The second happy time for the U-boats, so called because of the ease with which they sank merchant shipping, was coming to an end. Today, U-85 is a popular site for divers and serves as a silent memorial to the 29 sailors who died aboard her. The wreck is mostly intact, lying on its starboard side, and has become part of the thriving underwater ecosystem of the Outer Banks. Over the decades, it has been subject to looting and artifact recovery, leading to legal protections and calls for preservation. Divers frequently report seeing personal items, remnants of uniforms and structural details that offer glimpses into life aboard the ill-fated submarine. The story of U-85 is one of ambition, sacrifice, and the cold realities of undersea warfare. From its construction in Lubeck to its final moments under the Atlantic surf, the submarine's short career encapsulates the drama and danger of the Battle of the Atlantic. While her wartime impact may have been limited compared to more famous U-boats, the circumstances of her demise and the human stories connected to it ensure that U-85 remains a haunting and compelling chapter in the history of World War II naval combat.